As it says on the slide, and as Hervé said, I'm a public administration scholar. So in my research and my teaching, I quite often end up studying or talking about local governments. And I'm quite sure that many of you do as well. But it's not only that I have to explain my interest in waste to everybody, I also have to explain my interest in local governments. I kind of like them. It's just that I'm not that sure that I know that much about local governments that I think I should do. And I do think that it has some importance for us as waste researchers that we actually do know things about local governments. Some years ago, I was teaching an Erasmus course about local governments. Among other things, it was about the students from different mostly European countries, were to say something about the local governments from their home countries. And it was quite disturbing to us all how little we actually knew about other local governments than the one that we actually live. I will ask you some of the questions that they were asking to you as well, and you can then reflect about your own knowledge. So I will take this opportunity to talk about local governments and also some waste, I promise you. Even though there is so much waste talk in this conference, I think zooming out from that a bit does not hurt. We'll see. Society today is mostly urban. It's a mess of different actors, all of them organizing on their own way in an endless web of processes, phases, shapes, driven by a multitude of logics, objectives, and so forth. So it's a process passing by here, there's another one there. And we don't really know which one to follow. Actors are many and very different from each other. One of those actors are the local governments. But which local government do we actually refer to? Do we refer to the decentralized states? Do we refer to less or more or less independent municipalities? The city, the village, the commune, the parish, the region, the county? Or, as was suggested by a student I met from a superpower nation, she asked, countries in the European Union, are they local governments? What are they? Well, she was not really sure about the levels. Sometimes the local government is a strong actor, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it acts with a clear agenda, backed by funds, competences, capital, and sometimes not. I usually think about local governments as one actor among others in a quite complex web that constitutes a city. In turn, part of something bigger that we can call, Society 42, or whatever you want to call it. So there is a lot to say about local government and waste. I do realize that, and I will not say anything. But I think maybe this can have some interest for those of you interested in collaboration with local governments, how that can work or not work. Mostly, I will talk from a perspective from grassroots initiatives, but as I say, not limited to. In the title, it says, elephantine problem. Shamelessly appropriation from Dwight Waldo's article from 1961. In the paper, Waldo reviews 6 books, then new, about administrative sciences. And he referred to, he said also that it's quite stupid to review 6 books. Quite many of them were also compilations of essays. He said this is like a bit like reviewing a vegetable market. You eat one carrot, but what do you know about the apples? Anyway, he finds that to define organization was like an elephantine problem. Refers to blind persons describing an elephant. You don't really know which part you're looking at. Oh, sorry, not looking at, touching. So he writes, this is not me scanning bad, this is the library who scanned this. It is not clear that all of the contributors to this volume are talking about the same elephant or even members of the same species. Anyway, it's a really large elephant. So this was about organizations. Then Waldo represents the shift from watching administration as a verb to organizations as a noun. So we didn't know much about organizations, maybe we still don't, but what then is a local government? So in this talk, I try to make the point that it would benefit waste research if the local government concept could be nuanced somewhat, to calibrate the elephant, so to speak. Because there is much research to draw from about how local governments are run, how politics work, how policy is formulated, how accountability and responsibility works, or asked for, what competences and challenges, what can a local government actually do? how they change, if they change, how they procure stuff, which is a huge thing. 2 trillion euros annually bought by public sector in the European Union, and they buy from someone, and they try to activate someone when they buy things. Not the least grassroots innovation and waste pickers. Just as important, if we knew in our view of local governments in our contributions, I think other fields can learn from us. And also, the very waste management systems that we study, that we compare, read, and write about, are set up in different local governmental and local arrangements, so to speak. So if we know what we talk about, it would be easier to understand, not to make mistakes. Anyway, if we return to the local government, what do we mean by it? You pick a word, and this is from Wikipedia. You choose one. And now to some of the questions. How many local governments are there in the country you live? You can answer me now. You can answer, sorry, how many? Too many. Too many. Where I live, there are 290. How many?
2,600 or something in the US.
Yeah. In the whole US?
Yeah.
Oh. So the next question is that many or few? You say too many. But how many should there be? Two?
37,000 in France.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And how big should they be? What is a big local government? What is a small one? What is a good size? Seen to area, population? You can have a lot of fun. You don't have to answer me. I will send you a survey later on. Okay, so here are some maps. Okay, I begin to say sorry. Sorry that is only England, not the other 3 nations. Some conspiracy made me not find that. I'm also sorry for all the errors about the other countries. Obviously, all of you can say this is not true. But if we look at the map about this, Spain then has 8,000 local governments. That seems to be really, really many. Before you look at France, it has 35. It says in Wikipedia, Hervé said 37, so let's say 36,000. Kenya, bigger than France and Spain, has only 47 counties, however, 1450 wards. Germany has really, really many, but they have also their Bundesland. Yeah, difficult to say which is actually the local government in Germany. Nicaragua is 143. I just choose countries where I more or less been to. You can choose any country, of course. Sweden has 290. If you look at the northern ones on this map in Sweden, you can probably fit in, like we used to say, any given, let's say that the Netherlands probably fit in one of those local governments. And maybe there are like 2,000 people living in that one. But still, we compare them all as the same brand as local governments. And then you have the regions, you have the provinces, how many is normal, and then all of these, they cannot be seen in the map. They have differences in finance, competences, relations to the state, how people are elected, and so forth. So, and how much money they have is a good question as well. So how do local governments get money? Trick question. Of course, I'm a social scientist, so I would say depends. Some usual ways is income taxes, that you earn money, you pay to the local government. That would be in Nordic countries, usually. Property taxes is quite common. Taxes from sales, you sell a house, you have to pay something to the local government. Intergovernmental transfers, the president gives you money, if you're nice. You get fees, for instance, for waste collection. Fines, if you don't collect your waste, and fees and so forth. But of course, some local governments then are rich, powerful, independent. Comes to mind the Nordic ones again. Some say that they are usually themselves. They say that they are proactive. They can be ahead of things, decide the agenda themselves. Not only reactive, which other ones would be that are less rich, tightly connected to the state, or perhaps a governor, subject to national politics and dynamics and so forth. And when we talk about local governments, or want to talk to the local government, who then in particular do we mean? Do we mean the mayor, the mayor's office, the headquarters, the city hall? Or do we mean the waste truck staff? Oh, there should be waste truck there. The waste truck, the information officer, a cook at the headquarters, a mid-manager at the accounting section maybe, tourism office. They're all the local governments. But do they talk to each other, or are they aware of each other? Remember the elephant now. Do the back agree with the front? So you never know. To sum up a little bit, as big organizations, the differences within the organizations, hierarchical layers. Externally, there are differences as well. They're urban, they're rural, they're big, they're small. The context is different. Sometimes it's industrial, sometimes it's not industrial. With whom do they work? What is the relation to the state, to the province, to the region? Are they symmetrical, asymmetrical, or the same size? Part of or in spite of? Themselves or in collaboration? What competences do they have? What finance? Are they deciding the rules, setting up the rules, or are they following rules? Also, however the answers to this, it can all be changed really, really quickly. I will just give two short examples. One is from Victoria, Australia, where the Kennett Revolution in the 90s, in one act overnight, he changed from 210 to 78 municipalities in Victoria. People didn't know where they lived, and more importantly, people didn't know where they worked. Oh, sorry, they didn't work, but that was sacked and replaced by other people. That was quite astonishing. We were there like 2004 making studies in Victoria and talking to local governments. They were still in shock, all of them. Maybe they still are. I know that there are some representatives from Victoria. Going back to the Nordic sphere, Denmark and Sweden have been discussing since, I think, the 50s about the size of a local government. And discussion is ongoing. So many investigations, so much research work has been put into this to find the optimum size. And then Denmark just got sick of this, and in 2007 they just changed to from 271 to 98 local governments. Minimum 20,000 inhabitants, that's it. Sweden is still thinking, still talking, never going to happen. I think we have from 2,000 inhabitants to 1 million or something. But anyway, this happened, boom, overnight. And then a proper example about municipality or local government. This is the organizational chart of the city of Gothenburg. Or excuse me, the municipal group. You wonder a little bit, it's a group. There are, of course, politicians in top in the city council, but there is also 30 committees deciding about various, among them waste, but also different things. And then you have the companies. That's why it's called a group, to get the whole neoliberal ring to it, that we're a group. They have internal companies, quite big ones, and you have joint ventures with others. And you have city districts. Invented in 1989, 21 districts, with the argument that the democracy needed to be closer to the citizens. In 2010, it was changed from 21 to 10, and 21 was changed to 5, with the same argument, that the politicians in the city hall, they kind of felt that they were too far away to have to run through the districts. It took away the districts. So we have now more democracy again. So that goes back and forth to decentralization. We also have, of course, shared organizing with neighbors. That is not companies. You have the hybrids. You have outsourced part. In short, it's really difficult to define the public nowadays. As I said, I'm a public administration scholar, but it's really, really difficult to say what is public and what is private, and what is private and what is public. And it's not getting easier, I think. Okay, so then some assumptions that I assume that we have about local governments. I think that we do think that they are public, whatever that is, that they are institutions, quite often older than the state, even though not in Victoria, not in Denmark. They're territorial, which means that they stay, they don't go away, they have local knowledge, they can adapt to the local better than anyone else. That's why we have them. That's the reason to be adapting to the local settings. They have legitimacy, so they can formulate local policy, they can be trusted as partners, they have a long-term perspective since they're not going away, and they will not stop a partnership. They will go on, partly because they're local, so they will not. They will feel okay when they go to the shop in the local grocery market. They can't do too many stupid things. Okay. Then about waste. So waste management is also a local affair, usually. Most often local governments are responsible or involved. They give permits. But also, they know you have to work with them. You have to collaborate with them. You have to confront them, persuade them, or study them for us. And now, okay, we spent like 40 minutes under lunch, or during lunch, to try to get this video audio. But there's no audio. It doesn't matter, it's music. But still, I'm going to show you a video. 1 minute. The only thing I do have to... Yeah, there we stop it. I'm very proud of this film. It's a compilation of 10 different videos about waste picker innovations filmed in East Africa and Latin America from a participatory waste management project recently finished. John, Maria Jose, and Good Luck were part of this, and we say thanks to them. They played key roles. Waste picker organizations, as all waste actors, need to relate to local governments somehow, to collaborate with, get in partnership with, and so forth. Often to do that, they have to change or ask to change to fit the local government scheme. They have to be in question or to be chosen as partners. They need to adapt, formalize, use the correct language or template, comply to rules, certificates, standards, and so forth. The local government, not so much, because they in turn, they do the rules, they set up the templates. However, they complain a lot when they have to do the same towards the state, but that's a different thing. So collaboration is here the buzzword and the norm. And I will try to give 3 quick examples about this. Managua, Kisumu in Kenya, and from Göteborg. In Managua, there was a contract signed between the mayor and waste pickers, in this case, a horse cart men cooperative called Manos Unidas, or Joined Hands. So they were contracted or allowed to collect waste along certain routes where it was difficult for waste trucks to get in from the municipality. Everybody happy? It's just that the mayor is one thing, and the different thing was to anchor it outside of the mayor's office with the organization. So the former waste workers, they thought this was their waste, so they kind of also went into the routes and also took the waste. So it was a conflict between the former waste pickers and, the former waste workers and the grassroots cooperative. Another example is, again, a contract signed between mayor and grassroots. In this case, a local community in an informal settlement. There was also a big plan of Kisumu waste plan coming from the international community. So the agreement was that the community, together with local waste pickers, was to clean the informal settlements, then pile up all the waste at the fringe of the former settlement where the local government organization should pick up the waste. In practice, due to weak municipal organization, the waste collected did not, they just stayed there, it just sat there. Of course, becoming a small little dump in itself. Really looking at illegal dumping was actually a part of a project to do that. So the solution turned into a problem and took a long time to solve, and a lot of mistrust was the effect of this within the organization, from the community towards the municipal organization, but also from the rest of the population in the city who saw this pile of shit and said, this is typical informal settlements, they can't behave. And actually they did behave, but the local government did not. The third example is from Gothenburg, who really presents itself as a sustainable city and with a vibrant and very sustainable social life. One part of that social sustainability life was a bike kitchen and a solidarity fridge active in the center of city, where they thrived, not having to pay that much for their space. Then the financial model for space localities was changed. And then the urban development project that has been on for decades on the planning stage started to become real. We can read this is from the website of Gothenburg, that would particularly focus on harnessing and enhancing the local culture. A pilot project for sustainable urban development. We have some fantastic pictures. This is how it's going to look. Really unique. Going to put Gothenburg on the map. Yeah, you can see this, especially a rainy day in November when people are going to enjoy the riverside. This picture is from, well, the grassroots did not fit into the financial model. There was nothing wrong with the model, of course. It was wrong with the grassroots. So the whole new development of the city center along the riverside seems to have a little or really non-commercial space where like bike kitchens or repair shops can be. If you cannot afford the space, you're out. So this picture shows an installation where they used to be. And it says, among other things here, rest in peace, Gothenburg free culture. So it would be less vibrant, so to say. The brochure is still nice, though. I hope these three examples illustrate my point that local governments are weak links in collaborations, not city dwellers, not households, not waste pickers, not civil society organizations. Local governments change after elections, manage to quit, they change policy or they change. They have many layers, so if the top management want one thing, not necessarily the rest. And they have rules, and they create rules, many rules, intricate rules. And they know how to circumvent them, but do others? And collaboration does not work as in to-do recipes. This is a recipe. I just Googled for how to inter-organizational collaboration, and this is what I found. This is really, really recipe cookbook. Why? This is not how it works. So, what to bring from this? Some takeaways. I think we should think about how to design and do comparative studies. Anything that includes local network. What do we actually mean with that? How to read studies about local governments and not assuming that they are the ones as my local government where I live. And if we are into participatory research and collaborative partners or something, I think we should expect mess and change, weak anchoring, resistance in organizations and in the settlement, so to speak, rules, and then new rules. There's a lot of demands that we have to adopt to, or some others have to adopt to. A blurred accountability. Local governments are different from each other, but also within themselves are not homogeneous units. It's very different from one part of a city to another part of a city. And also, I don't think in collaborations, local governments are not feasible to last over time, at least not easily, and at least not unchanged. And it keeps, you have to maintain that relation with them. So we have to calibrate the elephant, I think. And that's pretty much what I had to say. So I say thank you for that.